Hey guys, Those Back Pages here. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're well. Gonna go over some mail and some hobby chatter and the like. First up, we'll start with the sports cards because, that's probably why you're here. But actually, I'm getting a lot of positive response on my comic pickups, which I really appreciate. Always glad to help. Always glad to share my knowledge best I can. Now, the good thing is, please feel free to reach out to me or anyone you know in the hobby community. Because even if I or anyone else you ask don't know, there's a good shot we know someone that knows. Kind of like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but for sports cards and collecting and such. Anyway, first in today's mail wrap up here is a card that is almost 25 years old, which is very scary to think. One I've never owned. I wanted to, but it was expensive for a long time. Then he had a fall from grace. And then, since the hobby hates nines, I was able to land this 1994 SP Blue Alex Rodriguez for a whopping $15. If anyone wants to send me the red for anywhere in the vicinity of $100, I'll gladly take it. That is a really hard card to find at an affordable price because the people that have it probably paid a lot for it and don't want to let it go. So that's from 1994 SP. Next up, someone that was born in 1998, turned 20 years old last month. The NL Rookie of the Year runner-up, Juan Soto, Heritage Topps Heritage Chrome. Excuse me. I don't normally go for these very often. This is numbered to $9.99, machine stamped on the back. But anyway, the reason I picked this up is because in a 9, it's got a little thingamajig there. I guess that's what brought the grade down. But I'd have to point it out for you to see it. Anyway, the reason I picked this up is because Soto is not in the action set. The action inserts. Like my Acuna. He's not in this set. So he was a late addition to the product itself, so they didn't have time to get him in there. So this is the next best thing. Of course, there's different parallel versions and colors of this, but I'm happy to own this one. Next up, some comics. So first up, we got a Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 90 and a Marvel Team-Up number 141. Now, the reason I picked these up is because these both came out in May of 1984, the same month as Amazing Spider-Man 252, which is the introduction of the black suit. Not Venom, the black suit. So, the last couple of years, I guess, while I was away from comics and the scene, these have become more widely accepted and popular from being that same month as 252. Next up, I am a big Todd McFarlane fan, as some of you may or may not know, so I went ahead and picked up some of his DC work. His first Batman work was for Detective Comics number 576. So I picked that up. 577 and 578. Scary to think these books are 31 years old. So I saw a great line on one of the comic message boards, and how did it go? Low copy is better than no copy. So I figured I'd add these to my collection. They're not well graded. You know, this one's a little miswrapped, but this was a lot of 3, and I think it was about $20 for the 3 of them. So graded, they can get up there. So I figured, you know what? Low grade is better than no grade. So I'd rather have that than nothing at all. I also picked up his first and only Batman cover, number 423, which came out the following year, 1988. You know, these all came out pretty much right before he started doing Spider-Man. So there you have it. My comic pickups. Proud to own them, and you can see this Batman is in fairly rough shape. It was just, and with this book, just 3 printings, so this is the first printing, but this bind is pretty beat. But it was $10. Can't really get much for that anymore. $10 doesn't go very far anymore. And the last thing I wanted to talk about tonight is the community, which continues to grow, and I really appreciate that, and everyone sharing what they know and what they want to know and all the such and all the like. And I wanted to quickly hand out my email address. So if you want to get in touch with me, you want to talk about cards or comics or, you know, anything similar. So that's my email address. If you want to email me and put in the header that, you know, in case it goes to spam, you know, put in from YouTube and this is such and such, you know, so I know who it is. So if I see it in the spam filter, I don't just delete it. Also, if you want to if you want to talk via text message, I really enjoy that, and I've come to know some fellas pretty well via text messaging. And the good thing about me, in my own opinion, is that I am a night owl, so I'm up late, don't really get up early, but I always have my phone on silent, so I'm constantly feeling, I'm always open for text messaging. And, I'm the type of person that, doesn't really ignore text messages, so if I don't get back to you, then I'm either busy or sleeping. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So, all right, keep this one, under 5,000 minutes for once. I think I'm coming down with a cold, but it is what it is. So, as always, I wanted to thank you for watching, for your support. I really appreciate you. You matter. You're important. What you collect is awesome. Share your knowledge. Always learning. Keep learning. And keep collecting.